Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased to get the chance to make a short contribution in what I think is a timely and important debate, and I too congratulate the members of the DUP for choosing it as a subject this afternoon. Many members here today were also present for the Westminster Hall debate the Honourable Member for Congleton convened on the persecutions of Christians in the Middle East, and during that debate I made a short intervention to highlight the very real concerns there are from the Christian community in Malaysia. The Minister on the bench, or the front, quite rightly said from a sedentary position that Malaysia is not in the Middle East, and I do understand that, but it does highlight the importance of this debate this afternoon in terms of issues outside the Middle East but around the world, where there is also significant concern about the way in which members of the Christian faith are being treated. I will indeed.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm very grateful to the Honourable Member for allowing me to intervene upon it. Could you just clarify or explain to the rest of the House why there are actually so few of his colleagues from the Labour Party on the benches this afternoon for a very, very important debate about the persecution of Christians? I'm absolutely baffled by their absence.
I was going to say I thank the Honourable Lady for her intervention, but I'm not sure why others aren't here. But I hope in the time I've got available, want to make a case in relation specifically to Malaysia, which I hope will help to illuminate this debate and add another aspect to it. I should start by making... I will indeed.
I'm very grateful to the Honourable Gentleman. Will he not agree with me that it's entirely appropriate that he does mention Malaysia, because, frankly, the persecution of Christians is a worldwide problem. It is not specific to one small part of the world. And the subject of today's debate is the persecution of Christians in the 21st century.
Yeah. I thank my honourable friend, and he's absolutely right, and the case I wish to make is about, I think, a country which is often portrayed in a very different way, and I'm hoping that through this debate can bring more attention to a situation that I've been made aware of through a constituent in recent months, so I thank him for his intervention. But I did want to start by making the point that I'm not particularly contributing to this debate from the perspective of a practising Christian as much as from the perspective of somebody deeply and fundamentally committed to ensuring human rights are properly protected. Frankly, to me, the religious activity and practices of people in any country, as long as they don't harm anybody else, is of little interest or direct concern to me, but their ability to be able to observe their faith absolutely is of concern, and that's why I want to make some points in relation to Malaysia this afternoon. Many members present will have seen the tourist advertising campaign for Malaysia, the Malaysia Truly Asia campaign, which has been stunningly successful over a long period of time. Many will, I'm sure, have also visited Malaysia, as indeed I myself have many years ago as a tourist, and have appreciated a tolerant, respectful, gentle and hospitable people, and a society which has the reputation of being both a Muslim state but also steadfastly multicultural, with Malay, Chinese, Indian and other significant minority communities, including, according to the 2010 census, 9.2% of the population practising Christians. Malaysia is also an important Commonwealth partner for the UK and a very significant trading and strategic relationship with this country over many years, and it's because of that background that I think it's right to be concerned about recent worrying signs in the country, and why I think it's right to draw this to the attention of the government through this debate, because there are some Christian communities in Malaysia who are very much in fear of being able to practice their faith without interference and with limits on their ability to observe their faith in peace. Christians in Malaysia fear persecution because they have been banned from using the word Allah, which has been used as terminology for God in Malay for centuries. It's meant that effectively the Bible in some parts of Malaysia has been outlawed. When the concerns have been raised, or have been sought to be raised in the State Legislative Assembly in Sarawak, in that part of Malaysia, it was ruled out of order and sub judice. And so the legitimate concerns of Sarawak Christians on the Malaysia Agreement, which governs the relationship stretching back 50 years between Peninsula and other parts of Malaysia, those concerns have effectively been censored. Although freedom of religion is supposedly guaranteed by Article 11 of the Malaysian Constitution, the reality for many is quite different. In his introduction to the debate, the Honourable Member for Strangford referred to Christian children being whipped, and I think he referred to that in the context of Nigeria. It's come to my attention that there are significant reports of Christian children being whipped for eating pork, and enforced conversion of Christian children who are forced to board because of where they live in state schools, being forced to convert to Islam. The Malaysian government's Religious Affairs Department, part of the Prime Minister's office, last month reportedly issued a sermon to be read in every mosque in Malaysia, condemning supposedly liberal forces undermining Islam. The implication taken by many people in Malaysia was this was aimed at those who practice the Christian faith. Now, with Portuguese, Spanish and indeed British colonial influences, it isn't surprising there is a significant Christian community in Malaysia. They have coexisted with others perfectly happily for many years since independence more than 50 years ago. But Christians in Malaysia now fear the country may be embarking on a very dangerous path. The Minister for Islamic Affairs in Sarawak, Daud Abdul Rahman, has called for members of the Sarawak Islamic Religious Department to be upgraded to become a Sharia prosecution department and to be supplied with firearms. According to Free Malaysia Today, he said, with this departmentalisation it can enhance the ability of the prosecution and thereby strengthen the Islamic Sharia law in Sarawak. There is a very real concern behind this behaviour that it has actually relatively little to do with religion or tolerance and understanding that religion often can promote, but it's about seeking to create supporters who identify with one political party as being pro-Islam and brand their political opponents as anti-Islam. I think this is a really dangerous road to take because it unleashes mindless aggression, prejudice and fear, and the non-Muslims of East Malaysia are right to be fearful of where it could lead to next. Shocking situations can arise when countries of mixed religions and races allow and encourage the development of extremism and prejudice even in our modern world. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion. This right includes freedom to change religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others and in public or private to manifest religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship and observance. Father Lawrence, editor of the Catholic Herald in Malaysia, refutes any claims there is a concerted movement to convert Muslims to Christianity and highlights what I think is my principal aim, to highlight that expressing the need for tolerance and acceptance. He stated recently, ask these people making these claims how many Muslim persons have converted to Christianity. Ask the Attorney General what is the meaning of Our Father and Hail Mary. He will say that he studied in a Catholic school. Did he convert? No, he is still a Muslim. Ask Prime Minister Razak if he knows the Our Father because he also studied at St John's Institution, a Catholic school. These men were schooled in a Christian environment but free to practice their own faith. The problem in Malaysia now is it seems the government's policies are effectively making that impossible for people in the other direction. So therefore, I implore the Minister and his colleagues, when they are representing the government abroad, in their roles and with the important and specific and specialist relationships there are between the UK and other countries around the world, like with Malaysia, that they use those opportunities to highlight that human rights is also about the right to practice religion without fear of favour of prosecution or any other poor treatment.
Grateful to the honourable gentleman. Perhaps I can just advise the House that when the time limit on backbench speeches was set at 6 minutes, there were, I think, an intended 15 contributors, since which time 2 honourable members have